I'm going to show you how to import images into Lightroom and then export them as small JPEGs for your WordPress websites. So the link I'm going to use is going to be posted in the video below. It's to a portrait session we did with Eric, and what you want to do is go to that link and then download the photographs, unless you want to work with your own, which is perfectly fine. Alright, so click on the drop down right here. We're going to go to download. And I've already downloaded these a bunch, so I'm just going to cancel this because I have two of them right here. So once they download, you can click on Show in Finder, but that's, they should go to your downloads folder. And so what you'll do is double click on the zip file, and it will come up with a folder that looks like this: Web Images for Portfolio, and the images are in here. So these are fairly large files, 28 megabytes, 24 megabytes. Those are huge. So what we want to do is make them a lot smaller. So I like to drag and drop my folder into Lightroom. I'm going to do that. So the entire folder. You could do individual images, or you could do the whole folder. So you probably don't have a catalog right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go through that process. In Lightroom, we're going to create a new catalog, and we're going to name this catalog your first and last name. I'm going to put this onto my desktop, but you'd probably want to put this in Documents, or if you're using an external drive, you could put it there too. So for now, I'm putting mine on desktop. Create. And it automatically wants to import those photos and videos. So if you didn't do that straight off the bat, we'll just act like you didn't drag and drop that folder in, and I'll show you what would happen. You would see this main screen, and then you can go back to, I hit the tab button. You can go back to the Finder, and then you can drag and drop these in. So what it's saying here on the left-hand side is this is where the photographs are coming from. They're in the Downloads folder. They're in Web Images for Portfolio. And then here at the top, we're going to copy these, move these, or add these. So if I copy them, it is going to copy the photos to a new location and add the images to the catalog. And what you saw there is that on the lower right hand side, it says the destination. So these photographs, Lightroom does a great job automatically populating, organizing your images, and they do that in a date form. So it's 2017 or 2018, 2019. It says it right here, the date format. So 19/1/28. So it'll put these images in that folder in that way. I know, I think that's a good thing to do, is to copy them. I probably already have these images in my Lightroom catalog somewhere. So I'm going to copy them. The other option is to add them. So I could add them from this specific location in my downloads. The problem is, if I go to downloads, once they're imported to Lightroom, if I go to downloads and delete this location, then the photographs are deleted as well. So it's important, maybe to make you duplicate the file essentially. Okay, so whatever you want to do there, copy or add, I'm going to go ahead and click on Import to the lower right hand corner. So these images are going to be imported, and then I can make changes as needed. So if you're into Lightroom and using that, maybe from Jenny's class or in the past, then you know that you can use, it's a comprehensive image editing program, this Lightroom. So I can go in and change temperature on the fly. I can go in a little bit further and add some develop options. And since this was a DNG file, this is a camera raw file, that editing that I've done is already there. So I don't need to do much at all. I've already done a decent amount of color balancing and adjusted my highlights and black points. In any case, I'm going to go back to library, and then I want the grid feature. So I like this one down here at the bottom. You can also hit G for grid, and it takes you back to the screen where they're all very small thumbnails. So I'm going to select all, Command A. You can also go up to Edit, select all, boom. And then I'm going to do Export. It's the lower left-hand corner. So I have some presets in here from before. Not sure what some of these are. Full-size JPEGs, all kinds of stuff. I have a preset for Flying Plow. But what we'll do is start here at the top. We're going to export this to a hard drive. We're going to choose the folder later useful for presets, which is fine. And that's what this is going to be anyway. And then we are going to rename these using custom settings. So I like to go here and I'll go to edit, and then you can kind of create, drag and drop, or insert things as needed. So I create a custom naming convention here, and I would suggest you guys do the same. So I like the custom text option, which is, where is it? Title. Sequence, custom text. Oh, sorry, it's at the bottom right there. So if you click on insert, and then you click on sequence, and then it gives you that same setup, except mine has a hyphen in between, so you can try that out. So my custom text usually starts with my first and last name, and then I do something else like portrait, and then I might put the person's name in. And this is all in an effort to be noticed online. These are keywords: portrait, session. You could put wedding in there. You could put your hometown. You could put anything. And so if somebody's Google searching wedding, Northeast Maryland, then hopefully your content would pop up. There you go. Okay, next is, this is not a video, so we don't need to mess with that. We are going to set the file settings as a JPEG, and the color space for web is sRGB. The quality is at 80, and we talked about this in the last bridge video. Just you don't need more information. You don't need 30% or 30 because that would make the image look really bad. I think 80 is a good industry standard for exporting images to the web. We're going to resize the long edge to 880 pixels. So that number comes straight from our theme on our WordPress site. The resolution, I didn't have the option to change this in Bridge, but the resolution here is going to be 72 pixels per inch, and that's any screen resolution you're going to need that for. Output sharpening, you could try and do this, and for the screen, I've never really experimented too much with it. I already usually add sharpening on my images anyway, so I don't need to do that. You could add a watermark here too. I think these are pretty cool and something that we'll work on later in class. And there's mine down there at the bottom. You can sort of change. You can choose a JPEG if you wanted to. I don't watermark my images necessarily, but you might find the need to. So I'm going to click cancel, turn this guy off. Metadata, you could include all of your metadata. You could just do copyright only, and this has to do with some content that's in here I didn't talk about that yet, but we're able to change some information around. So if you want all metadata to be shown, it's basically going to show your content, like the camera that was used, the millimeters, focal length, aperture, shutter speed, stuff like that. So you can change that as you need to. I put all metadata sometimes. Sometimes I'll just do copyright and contact info. Hopefully that content is even there. So I'll leave it on that for now. Export after processing, or after export, do nothing is fine. And then we're going to go ahead and click on wait, not export, because we want to add this as a preset for the next time. So 880 JPEG, 880 pixels wide JPEG for website. There you go, under user preset. So next time we come in here, all we gotta do is click that, and then probably change some of the text around here based on whatever project it is. So go ahead and click on export now, and it's going to give me that pop-up. It's going to ask me, okay, where do you want to put these? So I already had a folder from last tutorial, so I'm going to put these in here. Web images for delete, and it's going to be LR for Lightroom. Click create and hit open. So these images are exporting 7 files right over there. And now we can go to our desktop, and I can go to the folder, which was just for delete, and I got Lightroom, and I got JPEG. So this is kind of interesting. I'm curious the sizing here. So this is 162 kilobytes for the Lightroom, and this is 176 for the bridge file. So these are actually a little bit smaller, probably because I was able to put in that 72 pixels per inch thing. 126, 128 is marginally smaller. In any case, So now I would select all these images and I would go over to my website, WordPress. I would write, actually I want to make sure that I'm in the right spot here because I'd like to put these into a portfolio. So I'm going to click on Add Portfolio, add a title in here. I don't even need to put the date because it's already timestamped. I'm going to click on Add Media, and I already have the images in here, but what you would do is basically just drag and drop these in there to add them to your post. And that is how you export from Lightroom. When you are done with your Lightroom catalog, you can just simply File Quit or Command Q, I like to do, and it's automatically going to save your content for the next time that you log in. So if I just close that, I want to open it back up again. It will automatically have that content in there, which is really nice. The other thing that I didn't show you earlier was putting in some metadata content. So metadata is finicky, it's important, and it is something that you should probably think about doing. So we're going to actually set this up with a metadata preset. So go up to metadata, go to edit metadata presets, and I already have that one that's in here. So essentially what I like to do is skip over some of this basic info, camera info, IPTC content, and go straight here to IPTC copyright. I'll put my first and last name in, I'll put the status as being copyrighted, and I'll use some rights terminology, and I can copy and paste this and put it into a text document for you. Let me just paste this. Boom. So I found this somewhere online. The image is the property of Adam Giacono, and it would be your name, and protected under USA and international copyright laws. Copying, duplicating, saving as a file, printing, publishing in form of media, including web, manipulating, transmitting, or reproducing without the prior written permission of Adam Giacono is strictly forbidden and would constitute a breach of contract or copyright. So that is the content that I have right in there in usage. So I'm going to remind myself to add this content to the YouTube thing so that you can copy it as well. There is a copyright URL that you could add. You'd go through the US government and apply copyright to your images. Scott Serio, I know, has done this in the past and also gotten burned on some images, but he uses a lot of photographs that are for news wires and things like that. So the photographs themselves are highly valued, whereas this image maybe of Eric is not necessarily, because it's just not really newsworthy. In any case, so I don't have a URL, but you can find that information on the U.S. government website. So you can go in here and put in your content. So this would be my first and last name, your address, your city, your state, postal code, your country, your phone number, email, website. I just put this for now. I don't know, something about putting all of my credentials and embedding them, my location of where I live, and even though you could probably figure it out. But I'm not really interested in doing that, so I put my website and my email. So if somebody needs to contact me, they can. So this information, when it's downloaded from, say your grandma goes online and drag and drops an image onto her desktop, and she pulls it up, she will see this metadata content. That's what's so powerful about it, is that it sticks with your image. Now, if you upload your image to Facebook, for example, that metadata is going to be stripped. Flickr, they do retain that metadata information. I don't know, other sites you'd have to really kind of check around. But this is a good effort in preserving your information on your photographs. So I click on Done, and then I go in here and I would to the metadata piece. First, I'm going to select all the images. Go to metadata preset, and I would select my name, and I'll select it. So I can do this when I import the images as well. And you'll notice now I got the copyright in there. The file name is, of course, kind of mixed, but some of my metadata information is linked in, so that's good. And this, again, will save as soon as it happens. I don't need to do any saving. I just quit the program, and it's done. All right, that will do it for this session of the video. Good luck.